Football, America's favorite pastime. But for one fan, it has become his world. Jonathan Miskulin is a die-hard Oakland Raiders fan, and he has a giant tattoo to prove it. How does someone become so obsessed with the sport? Jonathan explains.
I think it started back in like 2001 when I really started getting into football. And I actually started out as a Jet fan just because there's a local team and stuff. But my dad was a big Raider fan. They were actually in the Super Bowl and stuff. So when I started watching it, I guess you could say I was a little bandwagon. But not anymore because we've been pretty bad for the last 10 years. So usually I spend my whole off season, my whole year just looking at Raider information and stuff. And every year it just heightens up. They get a little crazier. And I guess I reached a new high because my girlfriend's actually doing a documentary on me.
Being so passionate about a team who had a 3-13 record last season isn't always easy. So when they finally do score, Jonathan gets a little more than just excited.
Come on, Kryptonite!
This is one of my prized possessions of the household. It's my masterpiece of artwork I worked on for approximately 5 seconds of enjoyment of a Raiders game. We were actually coming back in the game, made a full comeback, and ultimately lost. But still, that moment of excitement really took the best of me, obviously. Usually when I get excited, currently, if my girlfriend's around, I usually do dirty dance or something like that, pick her up, run around the house screaming, something along those lines. And I guess I had no one around that time, and you know when you get really into the game, you want to give a nice high five to somebody. Nobody was there. So I guess the wall was my best friend at that moment. My hand went right through it, and I went right out of the house, thanks to my mom. But yeah, I'm back now. I have a nice piece where I can add a nice poster, hopefully. A big enough one that could cover this white plaster. But yeah, this is one of my moments being a Raider fan.
John Miskulin, Jonathan's father, has his own point of view on his son's obsession.
His mind is still sharp as a tack, and he knows everything. I mean, he could play call, and he reads the plays more or less before they're even done. If he was a defensive coordinator, he'd probably. But it is a lot of fun. I mean, he's crazy. I mean, I was crazy. He's crazy. And, you know, and it's the love of the game.
That love of the game has been growing for over 40 years, which makes a collection of over 100 Raider merchandise in the Miskulin household.
And most meaningful, it's my father's when he was really skinny and young too. As you can see, it's small. It's 40 years old. Got my name on the back. 72 he picked for John Matusak, one of his favorite players at the time. And yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten much use out of it because I pretty much outgrew that really young. Maybe whenever I have a kid one day, he'll be able to fit in it when he's a newborn.
Thanks to social media, Jonathan, or as he calls himself on Twitter, @JRaider17, has gotten in contact with a list of players.
I started creating graphics a few years ago just to show some more of a hobby and also for the Raiders phone that I was a part of. And it started out just making it for myself, desktops, wallpapers, and other graphics. And then I realized once I was on Twitter and these players are always viewing all their tweets and such, why can't I get in touch with these players? So I started making videos, graphics, in which I've actually had a couple of players actually use my graphics, tweet my graphics, recognize who I am.
So what does the future hold for this Raider fan? Jonathan predicts.
In a few years, probably see myself still watching football every day that it's on, every day that it's not on, reruns, NFL Live, NFL Network, there's your ESPN plugs. And I would say probably within 10 years, my girlfriend will check me into a mental institute. And I'll probably, hopefully they have cable there, NFL Red Zone, such like that. But pretty much this is it depends on how you look at it, actually. See, I actually think it's a positive progression of becoming a better fan. Other people might look at it as a digression in my mental state, which, if you're a Raider fan, you understand it. If you don't, it's because you're not a Raider fan or not a sports fan. You're really passionate about something, you'll keep following it, you can never get enough of it. And I don't know what else there is to say. Can we watch some football already, please?